Today video is about clauses and its type. So let's start with the definition of clause. What is a clause? It is the smallest grammatical unit that can express a complete proposition or meaning. It contains a subject and a verb. There are two types of clauses, independent and dependent clauses. We can find clauses in every sentence. There may be one clause, two clause, or three clause, and also the different types. So let's see what is an independent clause. An independent clause is a group of words that can stand on its own as a sentence. It has a subject, a verb, and is a complete thought. For example, they dance under the rain. Where is your sister? Now, dependent clause, a group of words that contain a subject and a verb, but it is not complete thought. Because it is not a complete thought, a dependent clause cannot stand on its own as a sentence. It is dependent on being attached to an independent clause to form a sentence. For example, because I woke up late this morning. Okay, now you can see that the sentence is incomplete. Although it has a verb, it has a subject, but it's incomplete. Look at the second example. When we arrived in class, then again it is an incomplete sentence. If my neighbor does not pay his rent on time, what will happen? We don't know. There are further many types of dependent clauses such as adverb clauses, noun clauses, relative clauses, and participle clauses. So let's see what are these clauses and how can we identify them in a sentence. A clause that functions as an adverb, that is called an adverb clause. They tell why, where, when, or what happened in a sentence. They are frequently movable within the sentence. For example, when the timer rings, we know the cake is done. Or we know the cake is done when the timer rings. So we can change its position and still it will be in the sentence. Now I will see some examples and we will see what the adverb clause is answering which question in that sentence. So first example is, where there are computers, there is Microsoft software. So it is telling this here in the adverb clause is telling us about the place. Another example, after the fruit is harvested, it is sold at the market. So here we know that what happened after the fruit is harvested. The third example is, I didn't call her because I am shy. So here the adverb clause is telling us about the reason. She took a computer course so that she could not get a better job. What was the reason for doing this? Purpose. Although Jay has a master's degree, he works as a store clerk. If you save your money, you will be able to go to college. So these are the types of clauses, adverb clauses, types of adverb clauses, and you can see how we can use them in a sentence or we can identify them in a sentence like this. Adverb clauses can be identified in a sentence because they are always introduced by a subordinating conjunction. For time, the common subordinating conjunction are used after, before, when, while, as soon as, since, until, by the time, once, as, so long as, whenever, every time, the first time, the last time, and the next time. Her father died when she was young. So here when is the subordinating conjunction and it is telling us about the time. Then for the cause and effect we use the conjunction because, now that, since, and all these indicate reason. Because like we use because for a reason. Look at the example. I could not feel anger against him because I liked him too much. So here is another list of conjunction with their function and example and for what purpose they are being used. For contrast, we use the conjunction even though, although, and though. Function is for unexpected result. Even though I wasn't tired, I went to bed. Direct contrast, while, whereas. These are used to show direct contrast with no difference of meaning. Mary is rich while John is poor. For condition, we use the conjunction if, unless, only if, even if, whether or not, in case, in the event that. Okay, all these are used to talk about possible situation and its consequences, express the idea that neither this condition nor that condition matters, express the idea that something probably won't happen. Look at the examples. If it rains tomorrow, I will take an umbrella. Okay, there is a possibility, so there the consequence will be that I will take an umbrella. I am going to swimming tomorrow whether or not it's cold. Okay, like it is, if it is cold or not, he is going for the swimming. In the event that you need to reach me, I will be at house. Okay, an idea that will not probably happen, so we use the clause in the event that. Then we have noun clause. A noun clause is a dependent clause that works like a noun. You can find it as a subject or object. As a subject, what she wrote is interesting, and as an object, I read what she wrote. Now look at some examples. Noun clause beginning with question. What? What do you do in the class? What we do in class is easy. So the question, if the question is like where does he work, how will we use it in a noun clause? Where he works is a secret. What should I do? I don't know what you should do. Who are they? Mary knows who they are. What happened? She knows what happened. Now we have some more examples of noun clauses beginning with whether or if. I wonder if it will rain tomorrow. I wonder if it will rain tomorrow or not. I wonder whether or not Mary went to work yesterday. Whether he invites her or not is important. That pollution affects the quality of our lives is obvious. Okay, here it is used as a subject. It is obvious that pollution affects the quality of our lives. In this sentence, the noun clause is used as an object. So you can see that noun clauses can be used as a subject and object too. Now relative clauses, a kind of dependent clause with verb and subject but can't stand alone as a sentence. It is sometimes called an adjective clause because its function, like an adjective, gives more information about a noun. They always starts with relative pronoun. So relative clauses are also known as adjective clauses, and the way to identify them is that they always start with the relative pronouns. Have a look at the examples. Relative pronouns are who, which, who, whom, and they. Who is used subject or object pronoun used for people. Have you seen the man who is new marketing director? Which is used for subject and object pronoun for animal or things. The horse which Sue was riding is very friendly. Which refers to the whole sentence. He can't type at all, which didn't surprise me. Whose show possession of people, animal or thing. Have you seen the boy whose mother was on TV? Whom is used for object pronoun for people in non-defining relative clauses. In defining relative clauses, we use who. I was invited by the counselor whom I met at the Christmas party. Okay, the relative pronoun that, subject or object pronoun for people, animal and things in defining relative clauses. I like the dress that you wore to the function last week.